Most men believe that women are drawn to the usual things: looks, charm, money, or being overly attentive. They think that by trying to impress her with gestures or constantly seeking her approval, they'll win her over. But the truth is far simpler. Women crave something deeper. They crave a man who doesn't just try to impress, but one who has a grounded, powerful mindset. They want a man who's in control of his own life, emotions, and actions. What women really want from you isn't more attention, compliments, or gifts. They want a man who is steady, confident, and unaffected by the world around him. This is where Stoicism comes in. When you adopt a Stoic mindset, you stop chasing, stop doubting yourself, and stop letting your emotions dictate your actions. Instead, you lead with calmness, strength, and purpose. The first Stoic mindset that women crave is emotional resilience. Most men allow their emotions to control their actions. They react impulsively to challenges, frustrations, or difficult situations. But the Stoic man remains unaffected by these emotional triggers. He faces adversity with a calm, composed demeanor, and he doesn't let life's ups and downs dictate his mood or behavior. Women are drawn to men who can handle pressure and remain steady in the face of chaos. When you're emotionally resilient, you show her that you're someone who can stay grounded, even when things aren't going as planned. This emotional stability creates a sense of safety for her. She feels like she can trust you, because you don't crumble under stress. You stay strong, and that strength is what makes you so irresistible. The second Stoic mindset that women crave is self-sufficiency. This isn't just about financial independence or personal achievements. It's about emotional independence. A Stoic man doesn't rely on others to validate his existence or to feel good about himself. He knows his worth without needing external approval. When a man is self-sufficient, it shows in every aspect of his life. He doesn't look to others for emotional support or reassurance. He is the source of his own validation. This kind of self-assurance is extremely attractive because it signals that he is strong enough to stand alone and, at the same time, capable of being the foundation of a powerful relationship. Women want a man who isn't emotionally dependent on them. They want someone who has a clear sense of self, who is emotionally grounded, and doesn't rely on anyone to define his worth. This level of self-sufficiency is a major trait that makes you irresistibly attractive. If you're ready to stop chasing and start mastering emotional control, subscribe and hit the bell. You won't want to miss what's coming next. The third Stoic mindset that women crave is inner peace. In a world full of chaos and distractions, the man who maintains peace within himself is rare and captivating. Most men are constantly reacting to their environment, getting upset over small things, chasing validation from others, or allowing stress to control them. But the Stoic man understands that true power comes from within. He doesn't let external circumstances dictate his state of mind. Women are drawn to this calmness because it creates a sense of stability and security. When you are at peace with yourself, when you don't let life's difficulties disrupt your emotional balance, you become someone who can handle whatever comes your way with grace. This inner peace doesn't mean avoiding challenges. It means facing them with a clear mind, without getting emotionally overwhelmed. It means being in control of your thoughts and emotions, regardless of what's happening around you. Women crave a man who can be a rock in turbulent times, someone who is unwavering and steady, and that is the power of inner peace. When you embrace emotional resilience, self-sufficiency, and inner peace, you naturally become a man of depth. You stop chasing external validation and instead focus on cultivating a rich inner life. This depth makes you more intriguing, more desirable, and more powerful. Women are naturally drawn to men who have something to offer beyond superficial traits. They want someone who isn't just a pretty face or a source of attention, but someone who has a strong, grounded sense of self. When you live according to Stoic principles, you embody this depth. You bring a level of authenticity and strength that cannot be ignored. As you focus on building your inner world, your values, your purpose, and your emotional stability, you start to radiate a powerful, magnetic energy. You no longer need to chase women or try to impress them with flashy gestures. They will be drawn to you because you are solid, confident, and deeply connected to your own purpose. This depth, rooted in Stoicism, makes you the kind of man women not only desire, but also respect. And respect, as we know, is the foundation of lasting attraction. As you continue to embrace Stoicism, you'll notice that you no longer feel the need to seek approval or constantly chase validation from women. You've learned that your worth is not defined by anyone else's opinion. This shift in mindset is incredibly powerful because it frees you from the need to perform for anyone. When you stop seeking validation, you become a man of authenticity. Women are not drawn to men who try to impress them or act out of insecurity. They are attracted to men who are authentically themselves, who don't bend to societal pressures or feel the need to conform to anyone's standards. This authenticity, combined with emotional control, gives you an aura of mystery and strength. You become the kind of man who is comfortable in his own skin, and that comfort in yourself is what makes you naturally attractive. Women will begin to notice this calm, centered energy and will be intrigued by it. They'll want to know more about you, understand what drives you, and learn what makes you tick. And as that curiosity grows, so does their attraction. As you become more grounded in Stoicism, you develop an aura of leadership. This doesn't mean you're controlling or overbearing. It means you lead by example. You don't need to demand attention or assert dominance. Your emotional control and inner peace naturally place you in a position of authority, one that commands respect without you needing to ask for it. Women are attracted to men who can lead, not just with their actions, but with their energy. The Stoic man doesn't rush into decisions. He remains calm, observes, and then takes action when necessary. This level of self-control and wisdom makes him someone women feel safe around, someone they trust to lead them in both good times and bad. When you're the type of man who can stay calm in the chaos of life, you naturally become a pillar of strength. Women want to feel secure, and the man who can provide that sense of security while remaining emotionally unaffected by external pressures becomes someone they can depend on. And that's incredibly attractive. As you continue to practice Stoicism and emotional control, you realize that true power lies in being unaffected by external circumstances. Most men get caught up in seeking approval from the outside world, trying to impress others or live up to expectations. But the Stoic man knows that real strength comes from within. When you are emotionally independent, when you no longer rely on anyone to validate your worth, you step into a rare form of power. Women are drawn to this because it signifies that you are not desperate for their attention. You are not seeking anything from them. You are complete on your own. And that sense of completeness is what makes you magnetic. You don't need to chase her or constantly prove your value. Instead, you allow her to come to you. You create the space for her to earn your attention, your affection, and your respect. By embodying this kind of power, you become the man who is desirable, not because you try to be, but because you simply are. With emotional control and Stoic principles, you become a man of value, not because of what you have, but because of who you are. This value isn't defined by your job, your car, or how much attention you can get from women. It's defined by your inner strength, your character, and your unwavering emotional composure. When you stop relying on external validation, you stop being at the mercy of others' opinions. You are free to act according to your own values, making decisions based on what is best for you, not on what will gain you approval. This is what makes you stand out. You are your own source of power, and women are naturally drawn to that. When you lead with this inner strength, you don't just become attractive, you become irresistible. Women want to be with men who know who they are, who are emotionally resilient, and who are capable of leading a life filled with purpose and strength. This Stoic magnetism is what keeps you at the top of her mind, and in a league of your own. As you continue to embrace the Stoic principles of emotional control, you begin to realize that the real power lies in your ability to remain steady, no matter the situation. While most men react to life's challenges with fear, stress, or anxiety, the Stoic man responds with clarity, purpose, and resolve. This inner calm and control is not only attractive, but it becomes the foundation of your self-worth. Women are instinctively drawn to men who can stay centered amidst the chaos of life. You stop seeking external validation because your own internal validation is all that you need. This emotional resilience becomes your superpower. When you are unshakable, steady, and grounded, you don't have to chase women. You don't need to perform for anyone. You simply show up as the best version of yourself, and that authenticity makes you irresistible. Emotional control also means that you have the ability to detach from the outcome of your interactions. Most men, when they start liking a woman, become overly invested in getting her approval. They worry about every little detail, how they come across, and whether she's interested or not. This neediness is transparent, and women instinctively sense it. But the Stoic man remains detached from the outcome. He invests in himself first, and doesn't base his worth on how someone else perceives him. This detachment doesn't mean he's uninterested. It means that he values himself enough to remain unaffected by the results of his interactions. When you stop chasing and remain detached from the outcome, you're no longer putting her on a pedestal. Instead, you become a man of value who lets her come to him. And that is one of the most powerful traits a man can possess. This emotional independence is what makes you truly irresistible. By now, you've developed the ability to not only remain emotionally composed in the face of challenges, but you've also cultivated patience. Patience is not about waiting passively for things to unfold. It's about choosing when to act and when to step back, understanding that attraction builds over time. Women are drawn to men who don't rush. The man who is always pushing for an outcome, whether it's trying to make her like him or forcing a connection, is seen as needy. The Stoic man knows that good things take time. He doesn't force anything. He lets things develop naturally. This patience creates a sense of mystery and anticipation. By not rushing her or trying to make things happen too quickly, you give her the space to feel the attraction on her own terms. And that's what creates real, lasting attraction, the ability to allow the connection to grow at its own pace. The true power of emotional control is that it allows you to create emotional tension without force. This tension isn't about playing games or manipulation. It's about creating a space where she feels compelled to connect with you, but not too quickly. Most men rush to make everything clear from the start. They tell women everything about their feelings, their desires, their plans. They overwhelm her with information and emotion. But the Stoic man knows that emotional tension is built in moments of uncertainty. When you don't give her everything up front, you leave her wondering. She begins to wonder about your thoughts, your intentions, and why you're not rushing in to please her. This uncertainty creates a natural tension, and tension leads to attraction. Women crave this emotional tension because it makes them feel alive and engaged. By not rushing to resolve this tension, you build a stronger and more powerful connection that keeps her coming back for more. When you master emotional control and adopt these Stoic mindsets, you stop seeking validation, you stop chasing, and you stop playing by the usual rules. You become the man who is grounded in his own strength, calm under pressure, and confident in who he is. This presence, this emotional stability, becomes the foundation of your attraction. It's what makes you irresistible to women. They don't want a man who is constantly shifting with every situation. They want a man who is unwavering, someone who doesn't react emotionally, but who stands firm in his purpose and values. The Stoic man doesn't need anyone else to make him feel good about himself. He doesn't need to prove anything to anyone. His value is inherent, and it's this deep emotional independence and strength that makes him the kind of man women crave. When you stop trying, stop chasing, and simply live by your Stoic principles, women will be drawn to you without you ever needing to force it. You will attract genuine connection and lasting attraction because you embody strength, calmness, and purpose. This is the power of emotional control, and this is how you become the man who is truly irresistible.